Most people spend their entire lives asking questions, but never stopping to hear the answers. They pray for guidance, beg for signs, plead for clarity, and then immediately return to their routines, drowning out the very messages they were asking for. They expect the universe to speak in grand gestures, in flashing lights, in loud and obvious ways, not realizing that the most profound answers often come in whispers, in the smallest details, in the moments most people overlook. The universe is always responding, always reflecting, always guiding, but if you aren't paying attention, you'll miss it. Signs are everywhere. They come in the form of synchronicities, repeated patterns, sudden bursts of intuition, unexpected encounters, and gut feelings that seem to come from nowhere. They aren't coincidences. They are messages, responses to the energy you've been sending out. When you think of someone and they suddenly call, when you hear the same phrase multiple times in a single day, when you keep seeing the same numbers or symbols, these aren't random events. They are answers, but most people dismiss them, rationalize them, or brush them off as meaningless. And in doing so, they cut themselves off from the very guidance they were seeking. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that if they don't receive an immediate direct response, it means the universe isn't listening. But the universe doesn't operate on human timelines. It doesn't always give you what you want when you want it. It gives you what you need when you're ready for it. Sometimes the answer isn't a clear yes or no. Sometimes it's a delay, a redirection, a moment that forces you to pause and reassess. And sometimes the lack of an immediate response is the answer itself. Because silence isn't absence, it's space. Space for you to listen deeper, to refine your energy, to align with what you're truly asking for. People also make the mistake of expecting answers to come in the way they imagined. They set expectations that limit how guidance can show up, and when it arrives in a different form, they don't recognize it. They ask for a sign but ignore the message that comes through a conversation. They ask for clarity but overlook the repeated thoughts nudging them in a certain direction. They want guidance but dismiss their own intuition, waiting for external confirmation instead of trusting the knowing that's already within them. The universe doesn't always speak in words. It speaks in experience, in alignment, in the unfolding of events that only make sense in hindsight. Most importantly, if you truly want to receive answers, you have to let go of the need for control. You can't demand when, where, or how the universe will respond. You can't micromanage the process or force things to happen on your timeline. Real communication with the universe requires surrender. It requires trust. It requires being open enough to recognize that the answer may not come in the way you expect, but it will come in the way you need. Most people will go their entire lives ignoring the signals of the universe. But you're starting to see beyond the illusion.